Welcome to be with me with Unit 6, Lesson 5 with the big day. ومن خلال this lesson read the email and do exercise A in the activity book. Then use the context to help you match the words in bold with these pictures. With the following دي مثلا guess what tomorrow is the big day. Big day يوم رائع في حياتنا. My plane leaves for London at 3 and soon I will be able to see all the sights we read about in the guide book. I've already packed my suitcase. I bought some new clothes and couple of more guidebooks. I tried not to pack too much. لا أرسل الكثير من الأشياء معي. It is pretty heavy. Once I get to England, I'll have to take a taxi. There is no way I can carry it all on the underground. I wonder how much you tip taxi drivers in England. Tip إعطاء مبلغ إلى التاكسي درايفر كبخشيش. Last Monday I went to the bank and got some traveler's check. وننتبه للكلمات الموجودة بلون غامق. Traveler's check صك ائتمان or صكوك المسافرين. For my trip they have a great because they have they are great because they are safer أأمن than cash من حمل النقود معك. I signed the checks تم توقيع الصكوك in one place at the bank. And when I want to buy something in London, I have to sign the check عليه توقيع الصك again in front of the cashier. That way nobody else can use them. My banker told me I should also get some local currency العملة المحلية لابد من حملها معنا في السفر. Because not all places take travelers checks. لا تتعامل بعض الأماكن بصكوك المسافرين أو بصك الائتمان. I'll take my credit card too. That is accepted internationally مقبولة دوليا but I can't really use it to tip the taxi driver or travel around by bus or underground. So I will definitely need some cash in my pocket. لابد من حمل النقود أو النقد بدلا من الصكوك. As you probably know, many countries in Europe use the euro, but in the United Kingdom, in Britain, people use pound, عملة بريطانية. Do you know the exchange rate? سعر صرف هذه العملة between Iraqi dinar and pounds. 1,000 Iraqi dinars is almost 0 or 0.57 pounds. My father told me everything in London is expensive, so I'll have to be careful what I spend. I'll bring you back a souvenir. أشياء للذكرى. Let me know if there is anything particular you would like me to get. And keep in touch. There is an internet cafe next to my hotel, so I can check my email whenever I want. See you in 10 days. Hazem. With partner, match their currencies and their name. أمامنا أنواع للعملة لكل بلد وربط هذه العملة مع pictures الموجودة in front of you. So with the following, we have Euro, US dollar, Japanese yen, Syrian pound, Chinese yen, Indian rupee or Saudi riyal, Iraqi dinar, Australian dollar, Pakistan rupee. With the following, we have an idea concerning currencies, العملات and their names وأسمائها مع استعمالاتها. The big day, the meaning of these words from the email. إذن تركيزنا من خلال الإيميل اللي قرأت لكم إياها فقط سويت سكيمينج عليها. نهتم ب the following حفظ تعاريف travelers checks صكوك المسافرين اللي هي special check that can be used in any bank. currency عملة أو نقود حفظ التعاريف. money or system of money الباوندز العملة البريطانية هي العملة الكرنسي used in the United Kingdom. exchange rate وسعر الصرف the amount of money you get when changing عند التغيير من عملة إلى أخرى. الفوكابيولاري in Arabic إذا كنتوا بحاجة إلها عندكم guess احذر suitcase حقيبة السفر بريتي heavy ثقيلة للغاية underground مترو الأنفاق definitely بالتأكيد tip يدفع إكرامية أو بخشيش بالعراقي travelers check صك ائتماني local currency عملة محلية credit card بطاقة ائتمان souvenir تذكار. إذن تركزون على حفظ التعاريف. وبعد أن أخذنا فكرة عن student book 58 ومعاني المهمة اللي بيها من خلال lesson 5 the big day نروح إلى activity book وبيج 131. exercise A. read the email on page 58 of the student's book and answer this question. What has Hazem done to prepare for his trip? Packed, bought some new clothes and some guidebooks. Got some travelers check. How is Hazem going to travel around London? By a taxi, underground and using the bus. Number 3, how is Hazem going to keep in touch with Mazen while he is on holiday? By email from an internet cafe. Exercise B, match the clauses to make conditional sentences من خلال ما تناولناه lesson 4 من unit 6 مراجعة conditional و this exercise relate to lesson 4. Number 1, if the cases are too heavy, section B, you have to pay etc. with zero conditional. Number 2, if the traffic isn't too heavy, section D, I'll be at the airport at 12:30 with first conditional. Number 3, if I had the time and the money with second conditional وهذا plus noun. A, I would come with you. Number 4, if you spend a lot of money on me, section E, I'll be very cross with first conditional. Well, number 5, if you had told me you were going to London was a third conditional past perfect, section C, I would have lent you my guidebook. Exercise C. Continue the event chain وسلسلة أحداث using first conditional. سلسلة أحداث chain باستخدام الشرطية الأولى for as long as you can. Number 1, if I got to town والشرطية الأولى I'll spend a lot of money. ونسوي سلسلة من الأحداث. If I spend a lot of money I won't be able to save a lot. Number 3, if I don't save money, I won't be able to buy the car. Number 4, if I don't buy that car, another one will buy it. Number 5, if another one buys it instead of me, I'll be very sad or miserable. Number 6, if I am sad or miserable, no one will like me. continue the great chain هم سلسلة أحداث، لكن هنا عندنا third conditional والشرطية الثالثة. exercise C كان شرطية أولى، هنا سلسلة أحداث باستخدام الشرطية الثالثة. number 1 if my alarm clock had gone off this morning I wouldn't have overslept. number 2 if I hadn't overslept I wouldn't have been late for the work. if I hadn't been late I would have finished my project. if I had finished my project I would have introduced it to my boss. number 5 if I have introduced the project to my boss he would have praised me. number 6 if he had praised me I would have taken a rise on my salary. exercise E complete. وهذا أكثر متعلق بلسن 4 من يونت 6 والشرطيات، تكرار تمارين متعلقة ومراجعة للشرطيات اللي تناولناها من خلال يونت 3. exercise E complete these sentences with the correct form of the verb in brackets. number 1 if my plane doesn't leave on time I'll miss my connection this afternoon was first conditional. number 2 if you hadn't renewed your passport last month تجديد الجواز سفر you wouldn't have been allowed to travel was third conditional. past perfect would have past participle. number 3 if I don't bring some books I usually get very bored وهذه حقيقة وزيرو conditional. number 4 if I have any currency left over after the trip وشرطية أولى I'll keep it for my next visit. Or number 5 if they didn't have duty-free shops at the airport people wouldn't be a second conditional possible with plus infinitive. Well, last homework complete the sentences with your own idea. number 1 if you hadn't come with me third conditional I would have been late for my work. number 2 if they hadn't run out of the petrol شرطية 3 the car wouldn't have stopped. number 3 if I hadn't seen you at school I would have gone to your house. second conditional with number 4 والشرطية الثانية if I went to London possible I would visit every place in it. number 5 if I had a bank account second conditional I would pay by check. number 6 if I didn't know the word possible I would use the dictionary.